Hey everyone, this is Brian from activemelody.com. Well, I know a lot of you are learning how to improvise on the guitar, and you're learning how to go to jam sessions and just play along with other musicians or play along with jam tracks, but just to be able to improvise and create music. And really that's the goal of any instrument, I think, is to be able to just pick it up and play what you want to play, what you feel inside. And that's a hard thing to do. There's a lot of skill that goes into learning that. And so what we're going to do in this lesson is I'm going to take a look at the minor pentatonic scale, but focus on just 6 notes within that scale. It's very easy to get overwhelmed when you look at a scale. There's all these variables and different ways you can arrange notes, but some of the most powerful licks really come from simplicity. And so that's what we're going to do in this lesson. We're just going to boil it down to 6 notes. I'm going to show it to you in 2 octaves, so there's going to be a lower octave and a higher octave. But anyway, what I hope that you walk away with are 3 new licks out of these 6 notes. And these are licks that you'll be able to do in 2 octaves. So I guess if you do it, think of it that way, you have 6 new licks. But that's what we're going to learn. So let's take a look at the first lick. Alright, so I got a little ahead of myself. Let me show you those 6 notes that I mentioned first, and then we'll jump into the licks. And I should also mention that you can download the jam track for this lesson on activemelody.com. Just look for EP042. That's the lesson number for this. Also available will be the tablature for these licks that I'm going to show you. But you have to be a premium member to get those. If you're not a premium member, you can still follow along with this lesson. So, okay, here are the 6 notes. So that's the 5th fret 5th string, 3rd fret 4th string, 5th fret 4th string, 3rd fret 3rd string, 5th fret 3rd string, 7th fret 3rd string. Now remember I said it was going to be 2 octaves, so the next octave, this is the bottom of the next octave. So we have 7th fret 3rd string, then we have 6th fret 2nd string, 8th fret 2nd string, 6th fret 1st string, 8th fret 1st string, 10th fret 1st string. So you can hear, if I play them together, those are your first 6, then you have, it's the same thing, it's just one is an octave higher than the other. So now that you have that, let me go ahead and start a jam track and I'll show you the first lick. Alright, so before we get started, I should mention that you can play this on an acoustic or an electric guitar, so either one will work just fine. And let's go ahead and take a look at that first lick. So here's what we're going to try and learn. And it just repeats. And so we'll learn it in this octave, and then I'll show it to you in the higher octave. But really all we're doing, remember we are in the key of G, and so 3rd fret is our root fret, and we're going to start here with a ring finger on the 5th fret 3rd string, and we're going to start by sliding up to the 7th fret 3rd string. That's the first note that you play. Now the next thing that you do is this. And notice when I'm doing that, I'm only picking that once. Whoops. And so it's just a slide up and a slide down, but it happens quickly like this. Now some people, when they do that, they may want to hammer on and pull off with a finger. So, but for me, I've always found it easier just to do a slide like that. So those are the first 2 things you do. You go, and then we're down, still on the 3rd string, but now we're down on the 3rd fret. So we have, and notice when I do that, wait, like that, I'm really just picking, that's a hammer on to that 3rd fret 3rd string. So now we're down to the 5th fret 4th string, 3rd fret 4th string, and and then we're back to the 5th fret 4th string. And then, so what I do, let's put all that together. We'll do it slowly. We have, and then I would just do kind of a slide down from the 3rd fret 3rd string. And the second time through, I slid down from the 3rd fret 4th string, just to sort of alternate those two. So the first time through, 3rd string, second time through, 4th string. And that's really all there is to getting that sound. So just make sure that this will be the challenge in that. It's a slide up, slide down, and then a hammer on. And just remember, all that's happening with the left hand. Your right hand is just picking that part once. And just practice doing it over and over again. You'll get it smooth. So that's that octave. Now, remember we have 2 octaves, and when I played it, at one point I jumped up and played the higher octave just so you can hear what that sounds like. But it's the same thing. We're just playing it in a in a higher place. So this time, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the 8th fret 1st string, and we're going to slide up to the 10th fret on the 1st string. And then we're going to do that same little thing where we go, just like we did here. But that's going between the 8th fret, 9th fret, back to the 8th fret, and down to the 6th fret on the 1st string. Then we're going to jump down to the 8th fret 2nd string, and you'll see the pattern. You'll see how it's exactly the same as what we did down here, pretty much. And then we're down on the 6th fret 2nd string, and then back to the 8th fret 2nd string. Now you can do this however you want. You can mix it up. You don't have to play it verbatim. You could do, some kind of different version of it, or a derivative of it. So feel free to explore it, but at least you can see where by taking it 1 octave and then playing it in a higher octave, that you could just take that same lick and just switching between the two would give you a pretty pretty interesting solo. So that's that lick. Now let's take a look at the second lick. Alright, so the second lick sounded like this. And it just repeated, and obviously I did that one in 2 octaves as well. But all I'm doing is I'm putting my ring finger down on the 5th fret 4th string. That's the first note I play. Then I come up here real quickly and hit the 3rd fret 3rd string. Just hit it once, and then jump right back down to the 5th fret 4th string with some vibrato. So all together, slowly, that sounds like this. Notice the right hand, I'm picking down, up, down, down. And just practice getting that so that you can quickly jump from one string and one fret really to another string and another fret. And so after I play that, then I just kind of went back up to it, back up to the 3rd fret 3rd string. Then I kind of came, I think the second time through, it's actually very similar to what we did in lick 1. I went to the 3rd fret 4th string. And then on the 3rd time through, I did a little thing like that. And so when I do that, I'm coming up here to the 3rd string on the 5th fret and doing a full bend like that. then back to the 3rd fret 3rd string, and then back to the 5th fret 4th string. So, oh, and one other thing that gives that a little bit of a characteristic, after you do the bend and release, so you do bend and release, and when I play that 3rd fret 3rd string, I'd give it a little bit of a push to push it sharp, so it goes. Hear that? Okay, so that's that lick, and then at one point when I was playing in the intro, I jumped and did it an octave higher. Now you could do this whole thing in 1 octave. It's really up to you to mix and match the octave thing. But here's how it would sound in the higher octave. And what I'm doing is I'm starting that on the 8th fret 2nd string with my ring finger, and then I'm just going to come up here real quickly and grab the 6th fret 1st string, only hit it once, and then right back to the 8th fret 2nd string. So it's the same concept as, except we're just doing it here. And you could do the, and it would be the same thing when you do that bend. That's on the 8th fret 1st string, bend release. But this time when you hit the 6th fret 1st string, you push it sharp just a little bit, just like you did down here. And now you have 2 different places that you can play that. So now you can kind of jump back and forth. You could do a lot of cool stuff with it. Now what's really fun is when you start mixing licks. So you'd mix, lick 1 with lick 2, and parts of lick 2 with lick 3, and so forth. And I'll play a little bit of that at the end of this, and just kind of show you how you can start to mix and match these things to create full solos instead of just having these licks that you repeat over and over again. Alright, so lick 3 sounds like this. And you could do it an octave higher. And so it's a lot of fun to do. You can jump in, by the way, in terms regarding timing. You could play that at any point. It doesn't have to just start on the 1. You could start it on the 2 or the 3 or 4. And it's going to resolve and actually work no matter how you do it. For the most part. There's always an exception to, maybe in the turnaround or something. But for the most part, you can just kind of throw that in however you can think of it. So let me show you how to play it. We're going to start here on the 4th string on the 5th fret. That's our first note. And I play that with my ring finger. Then we're going to come up to the 3rd fret 3rd string, 5th fret 3rd string. Now, so thus far the first 3 notes are. Now from here I'm going to do this. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a full bend on the 5th fret 3rd string like this. Now notice I stopped it. I bent and then I stopped it. You didn't hear me release it like that. I just went. And I'm stopping it by, really with my right hand. Watch my right hand. It kind of, sets on top of the strings to sort of mute it. Now after I stop that, then I come down and play the 3rd fret 3rd string and gave that a little bit of a push, stopped that note too. And then I came down and resolved that little part on the 5th fret 4th string. But there's something kind of that grabs your ear when you hear the stops in there, as opposed to hearing it like that, where it's a little more slurred. Now either way could work. I mean, you could definitely argue that that would be very bluesy too. So if you want a variation, definitely try doing it that way. But the way I played it was. Now, after that, so I play that 5th fret 4th string with my ring finger. Then I'm going to take my middle finger and come up here on this, also on the 5th fret, but this will be on the 5th string, and play that note. And then I'm going to take my pointer finger and come to the 3rd fret 4th string. Then my ring finger's back on the 5th fret 4th string. So let's play just those notes. Now let's put it all in context. So what we have so far is watch the right hand with the picking. You can see that's a down, that's an up, that's a down, and that's an up. So it's alternate picking there. Down, up, up. Now, what I did after that was I came up here to the 3rd fret 3rd string. Then I bar. Notice I'm kind of barring the first 4 strings on the 5th fret. And I'm playing string 4 and 3. So we have and after that, after I play the 3rd string on the 5th fret, I come down to the 3rd fret 3rd string with some vibrato. So slowly it sounds like this. Got that last part? See where I'm barring it there? And that just got, when I did it, I just kind of repeated it over and over again. Now, and then I played it an octave higher. For the most part, it's the same. The only difference is this middle finger here on the 7th fret 3rd string. But let me show it to you. So it starts on the 8th fret 2nd string. Then I come up to the 6th fret 1st string. 8th fret 1st string. Those are your first 3 notes. Now we're going to do the bend, mute. And we're going to come down the 6th fret 1st string. Bend, mute. Then we're back to the 8th fret 2nd string. Now I'm going to take my middle finger and come to the 7th fret 3rd string. Now we're on the 6th fret 2nd string, 8th fret 2nd string, 6th fret 1st string. Now this is where I'm going to bar, just like I did here when I went. I'm doing that little bar here now just on the first 2 strings. So I'm going to play 2nd string on the 8th fret, 1st string on the 8th fret, and then vibrato on the 6th fret 1st string. So slowly, all together, that sounds like this. So you could very easily jump back and forth between those licks or parts of them. And it's nice to have something in one octave and another so that you can kind of do call and response stuff and just make it up as you go, and it'll sound right because you're playing the same notes, you're just playing them in an octave higher. So that's lick 3. So the nice thing about licks like these are they're repeatable or they're loopable. So you could actually just put them in anywhere into the song, and for the most part they're going to work. So you don't have to worry about getting the timing just right. Even if your timing is off, the notes are going to match, and it'll work. So what I want you to do now is take these licks and combine them. You've only got 3 licks and there's only 6 notes, and see what kinds of solos you can create out of those licks and putting them together. Let me do a little of that just to give you an example. Now I'm just going to make this up on the fly. I'm going to take these 3 licks and just kind of randomly put them together, but here we go. Start to get an idea of what you can do, and that was moving from one octave to the other. And you could have a lot of fun even just taking two notes from that. So you could just take, and you start to get into Albert King, and you start to see where these where artists kind of make, when they have a signature sound like BB or Albert. They've just done really this process, and they've picked out the parts that they like the best, and put their own signature sound on it by what they do with their hands. But that's how you do it. That's how you create your sound, is taking licks like these and finding the parts that are interesting to you and sort of working them in. So just have fun with it. Let the jam track just play and see what you can come up with. Now the next level will be taking those licks and applying them to another song. So take another jam track from Active Melody, just pick any of them, preferably in a different key, like in the key of A or the key of C, and see if you can work those licks into another song. That's when you can do that, that's when you know that you're really able to play and improvise.